This is Let's Exchange Notes podcast. I'm your host, Zalika Adams. We're delving into the experiences of Black men with dating and marrying white women. We're excited to have you here. Let's dive into the episode. Thank you for joining me. This is Let's Exchange Notes podcast. I'm your host, Zalika Adams, and my esteemed guest today, Darnell Flowers.
What's happening, G?
Hi.
What's happening?
How are you? You look so sharp in those glasses and that hat.
Thank you. I'm good.
You're welcome. Let me tell the people just how we met. We met at a fitness center, just to kind of set the scene. And when we were talking about sitting down for Darnell to do the podcast, he had a little girl at the time. And I said, I was expecting him to say, yeah, she's 13. She's 14. And then what did you say?
She's 19.
She's 19. Yeah. Time has passed.
Yeah.
Time has passed. And he said, look, Z, you're thinking about the dates wrong. You're getting the dates wrong. We met in 2008. And he would have been right because she was about 5 years old.
Yep.
And I said, man, yeah, time flies. And then also for the people, Darnell has been carrying on about the fact that he's old. You see him right here. He doesn't look anybody's old. And in fact, he has a birthday next week. Tell the people how old you will be.
51.
51. Don't say it like that.
Oh, man.
Don't say it like that.
Hey,
what's wrong with 51?
I'm half dead. That's how I see it.
No, the cup half full. He's full of life.
Oh, come on.
And he's full of energy. And we'll do a shameless plug at the end because Darnell is a fitness trainer, certified fitness trainer. Like I said, we met at the gym, and before he knew it, that was his passion. So we do want to mention that at the end. Don't forget, okay? So when you said yes to sitting down with me, what were your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts? Well, when you told me the subject, I mean, I've had this conversation many a times with people. For some reason, people are very intrigued by it, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of 2023. It's still kind of weird for people. So, it's no problem.
Yes. And then one of the other things that you said, so look, I think it'll be good because people don't ask Black men anything.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. So you're like, yeah, I think it'll be good. So when we were talking about removing the chip series, removing the chip from the Black woman's shoulder in regards to this topic, white Black men dating and marrying women who are not Black, do you think that there's a chip on the Black woman's shoulder?
Oh, possibly. I can see that. I mean, you see it, right? You hear about it sometimes. The reaction when a Black guy is not with a Black female. So I assume it's there. It has to be. Right. Otherwise, they wouldn't feel a certain kind of way, and people wouldn't be so intrigued by it. But people are.
I would agree. What about when you're out and about? Do you see stares and glares from Black women?
Occasionally, but you don't really know what that's about. You know what I mean? It could be about anything.
Right.
Who knows?
It could be. She could be having a bad day.
Right. So who knows?
Right.
You see it, but you don't really know what it's about. Nobody says anything, so you can't put your finger on it and say they're looking at me because my wife is white. I wouldn't do that. So
wouldn't go that far.
Right.
And then nothing has ever been said to you out in the public anyway.
No.
Okay. So as we get into the meat and the bones of this, I wanted to start with childhood. And so when we're talking about childhood, please tell us who was in the house when you grew up, as you were growing up.
Oh, parents, brother. So it's four of us.
And siblings. How many siblings?
I just had one at the time,
Okay.
growing up, just one.
Just one.
More
And
came
then
on later, but I was much older.
much older.
Yeah.
When you think about your mom and your father, because you did have a stepfather in there, and we'll get to that in a moment. But when you think about your mom and father, do you think of that as a healthy relationship?
No.
No. Why do you say no? Yeah.
Because it was abuse in the
Abuse.
relationship. So that was not healthy.
No. And did they stay married?
No, they was married about, how old was I? Maybe about 9 or 10. I was about 9 or 10 when they got divorced. And I think they got married when I was like 2 or 3. So it was about 7 years, maybe, somewhere up in there. They were married.
How, okay. What was it like for you to, as a young boy, to see abuse in the household? What did
Um,
that do to you?
it's kind of traumatic, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just a thing like, I ain't never gonna do that. That don't make no sense to me. So to me, when I got in relationships as I got older, it was more of, if I feel like I gotta hit a woman, I just don't need to be with her. That's as simple as it need to be. So
Right.
that's
Right.
it's about as clear cut as you can make it. If that's how you feel,
Correct.
you don't need to be with her. Just leave. So yeah.
Just leave. When you look back on it, and we're so into talking about mental health now and solving generational traumas and things of that nature, would you say that your father was dealing with some things that he didn't know how to process, the reason why he hit your mom?
I couldn't say. I never talked to him about it, so I could not say what he was dealing with exactly. I don't know if
Mm,
he was under some kind of pressure. I have no idea.
right. Would you say that even though he was abusive, would you say he was available to you
Yeah, he was there.
as a father?
Yeah, he was
He was
there.
there.
Uh huh.
What was one of his lessons as you were growing up that you remember?
Oh my. I couldn't even tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. My father's a weird cat.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he is very stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff he say, hmm, I'm not taking none of that with me. I can't. I can't. I'm
Gotcha.
not. I'm not bringing that forward. So some of the stuff he say is just like, he really. It was never really nothing stands out to me that he said. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a use that. So just the way that he is and his ways, he's still like that to this day. So I don't
Right.
carry. I don't act nothing like my father. I don't think so.
Right. In the pre-interview stage, we were talking, and you said that one thing that he would always say, which was very interesting to me, is don't hit women. But then he was an abuser. What
Hmm.
did you think about that lesson? So he was saying, don't hit women when you get with a woman, but yet he was an abuser.
Apparently, he was going through some turmoil. He was going. He was fighting demons or something going on there. So, but it's hard to say why he did it. It's weird, because I never. He was married again and again, and I never heard or saw any of that in the other relationships. So I don't know if he was just too young to be married at the time because they was married 20. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so they had me. They was in high school still, so they got
Right.
married like right out of high school. So maybe it was just he was just still immature, just as simple as that.
Yes. And we'll get into marriage too when we get into the marriage portion for your marriage specifically. But I just find it interesting. How do you think that you escaped that? Because there was trauma involved with that, but you decided to go the opposite way. Can you remember in your young self, what was it within you that said, I'm not going to be doing that?
It was just the effect it had on my mom. That you don't want to abuse no woman, not no physical abuse, nothing like that. That's crazy. You know, everybody in relationships, everybody getting abused some way or another at some point if you're in a
Right.
bad relationship. But
Mm-hmm.
physically, that's something I can definitely control. And, you know, being a man, you're physically stronger. So what
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make any sense. You know, that's
Right.
so no, I don't know. It just never I never balled my fist up or grabbed a woman or I ain't never did nothing like that. So it probably was from the, you know, trauma and it's always in the back of my mind. So it never, no.
Gotcha. When your stepfather came into the picture, how was he as a father?
He was abusive too.
Abusive
So,
too.
yeah. But I can't tell you how long his had a lot to do with alcohol. I know that for sure. So,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, they still married. So it stopped, but I don't know when. I don't know how long it lasted, but I know it happened.
Right. And seeing your mother go through two abusive relationships, did that change your mind as how you looked at black women?
No, no.
No.
That had nothing to do with, no, no, no.
Mm-mm. Okay. Because you did say your grandma raised you
For my
from.
first 7 years, I lived with my grandma.
Mhm.
You know, I went to school
Yeah.
in Cleveland and all that stuff until my parents got a house in Cleveland Heights. And then, you know, it was four of us, you know. So, yeah, that first
Mhm.
7 years was, you know, my parents was working, newly out of school with a kid. So I assumed they was doing a lot of working. I know my father worked for the city.
Right.
My mother worked, um, I believe she at the time she was working for GM or something like Chrysler, GM, one of them places. So, you know, they probably was
Mhm.
fairly busy and, you know, just probably easier for me to stay with my grandmother at that point.
How does it shape you as a young black boy to not be 100% raised by your mom and dad in a nuclear family?
That didn't bother me. I never even thought about it. It didn't
Right.
occur to me at all that something was wrong. You know, I was with my parents on the weekends, every weekend. So, you know, it
Mm.
didn't affect me like that. Nothing. I can't even think anything that I ever thought like, uh, I'm bummed out because I ain't with my mom. I ain't with my dad. I don't remember no thoughts like that.
Right. So you feel that at least they were there a little bit, that was still beneficial to
Yeah,
you. Right. Right.
I had a
Um,
lot more people. You know, my grandmother. I had a lot of people. I had,
mm-hmm.
yeah. When I was with my grandmother, she had my grandmother had 8 kids, so it was still a lot of the kids was in the house. So I had aunts and uncles. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like it was a huge
Yeah.
family. You know, I'm not. And then all my uncles, not all of them, but some of them had kids. So my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be playing with my cousins. So you don't think
Yeah.
nothing. I ain't thinking nothing about it. I'm just
Not as
playing.
a
Right.
kid. Right. Right. And I can relate because my maternal grandmother and grandfather had 8 children too. So that makes for a large family. It makes for a large family and a neighborhood, a village. It takes a village to raise a child. And in this case, it would be the case for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Speaking about neighborhood, when you look back on your school age years, what was the demographics of the neighborhood?
No, this is the thing about when you're black, you don't pay that much attention to race like white people do.
Yeah.
So when we moved there, I was just playing with kids on the street. It didn't matter. I never thought I ain't gonna play with the white kid or so and so or I don't. It never occurred to me. But
Yeah.
even though it was about I'm gonna say about 50-50 in Cleveland Heights at the time. It might have been
50-50.
less black people than that,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go with about 50-50 because if I think about when I went to school, grade school, it was pretty much a clean split, at that time. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay, that's interesting. Um, Thinking about the school age years, when you think about ninth to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, how do you think that you were perceived in school? How do you think you were perceived by your peers?
How do I think I was perceived?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to tell jokes, so maybe a little bit class
Class
clownish,
clown.
but I was pretty quiet, I didn't play no
Uh-huh.
sports or nothing, so, I just had my
Mm-hmm.
friends and probably more the class clown. Yeah.
Yes, I could see
Yeah.
that. What is so? You're the second one to mention sports. Is that something that's like on the shoulder of young black boys? Oh, you got to play
I'm
sports, like to have
so
that?
mad I couldn't play sports. Yeah.
Really?
I love football, so but I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm short, right? So I was even
Mm-hmm.
shorter in high school, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was a couple of shorter guys my size on the football team, but they were fast. So if I had speed, maybe
Mm.
I could have played or ran track
Maybe
or
you could have
something.
played
But with not having
track.
enough speed and being small, you can't make no team.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was wondering that. I'm like, man, you were the second one. Darnell's the second one. So what was your reality in school? How did you perceive yourself as a class clown? Did you accept
Yeah,
that?
that's fine.
Is that how you would?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
still do it
yeah.
now, so it's the same thing. Ain't nothing different.
I want to set the scene of this conversation that we had years ago. I have the memory, so I'll tell the story because I know you're gonna be like, "Z, don't take me back that far." So it was outside of the gym, and you would remember Darnell because the gym was vandalized that day.
Yep,
Remember
the
that?
window,
And
it got shot.
yes,
Yep, I remember the
yes,
day.
it was guys. I think it was. I always said it. I think it was a competitor. They were salty, and so we were outside waiting for that to get cleared up, and it was just us two. And I just simply asked you, well, how did you end up in a relationship? And it's interesting because now this is coming full circle. And one of the things that you said was, "Well, I always felt that black black women didn't like me," and now we can sit here to say that wasn't true because black women did like
Right.
you. Yes. And so why did you say
You,
that? Can you
you
remember?
asked me that before, and I still don't remember why I said that. It's so weird. Are you sure that was
Mm,
me?
yeah. Come on now. You remember because you used to drive the
Yeah,
Prius. Oh, remember the
yeah.
Prius?
I still got one.
Oh, okay. See, saving on gas, saving the
Yeah.
environment.
It's,
I'll never forget because it was only me and you at the gym.
I remember the day. I don't remember exactly why I said that, or if I meant it totally in that way. I can't remember the feeling, or I can't remember Z. I'm sorry. It's a bummer because if I could remember, I would explain it to you. But I,
Right. Give context.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would give more context. But because I only dated like three white women my whole life. The rest of them been black. So I don't know why I
Everybody
would
been
have said
black.
that. So it's weird.
Yeah. Everybody been black. And I'm like, oh, now that we've come full circle with that
Yeah.
conversation in the parking lot, leaning up against the Prius. Now, I remember
Right.
because
You
I'm
got the
calling
Prius
now
and
some
everything.
specific. Yes. Okay. We ain't forget that Prius. Well, that takes us into your first marriage with a black woman.
Hmm.
Are people surprised that you were once married to a black woman, now being married to a white woman?
No,
No.
not that I know of.
Yeah.
Nobody say nothing to me, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes the perception is if he's married to a white woman now, then he's always loved and dated and married white women. I think
Right.
sometimes that's the perception.
Right.
If I'm getting that right, and of course the people will let us know. So your first marriage to your first wife, you were married at 25, young tender. I told you we were going to come back around to this,
Okay.
and your wife was older than you, right?
Yeah, I think 4 years.
4 years, and she was coming with a daughter into the marriage.
Uh huh.
What was it like being married at 25 years old?
It probably was too soon for me, but it was fine. But I wasn't, definitely wasn't mature enough, wasn't ready. the way I should have been. So,
Mm-hmm.
it was fine, but not ready. Too
Right.
early for me. Yeah.
When you would say advice across the board, getting married, no matter what, race, creed, ethnicity, what would you say about 25 years old? Is that a good age?
I, I, I say 30 is the age. You got, I think like
Yeah.
30, early 30s,
Yeah.
you got to go ahead and have that fun and do what you're going to do and experience
Right.
stuff and different
Right.
people and, all that stuff and see who you really like, not just like the first person you like or whatever. So that would just be advice. Just get out there. See, find that
I
one.
would.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I would agree. I would agree because I remember being in my young 20s and I will always hear, "What, you not married yet? Or has your last name changed? Your last name still Adams?" It's just like, oh my God, like what? Don't I
Right,
have
right,
time to breathe? But for a woman, it's a little bit different than the pressure it is on a young man. A man can be 50 and it's like, oh yeah, he, whatever, a
right,
player, whatever, right? Right? But a woman be 50 and then it's like, oh, she's hit the wall, she's this, she's dried up. And it's like, that is not the case.
right, right.
Can we both learn and agreed? 30, you're coming into a new reckoning, maybe even a second or third reckoning of your life when you get into your 30s, really realizing what is right for you, what is going to work for you.
Yeah,
So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So there's so much pressure to get married in your 20s.
yeah.
So what did you like about your first wife?
Um, she was pretty cool. I liked her,
Mm-hmm.
but we had stuff in common. Back then I bowled a lot, so I
Yeah.
bowled for like since I was in like grade school until I
Uh-huh.
was about early 30s or so, and I called
Uh-huh.
it quits. Um,
Highest score? You better not say 300.
I don't even want
Don't.
to say this, but I'm gonna tell you, 290. I threw a gutter ball.
Nice.
I threw a gutter ball the last ball. I had
Nice.
11
Okay.
strikes in the gutter ball, so nothing to
I
brag
was about to
about.
say. Okay. I was going to say 300. I was going to be jealous.
It,
Jealous.
it
Okay.
should have it should have been a 300, but
Yes. Yeah.
I
What kind?
screwed up.
Listen. Yeah. It's
Pimps
okay.
fuck up sometimes.
Exactly. Exactly. You often mention that you felt she was pretty, aggressive. When I
Aggressive, yeah.
hear the a pretty comment, always one of my favorite questions. What did you find attractive about her face from her forehead to her chin?
Her face.
Just her
Oh
face.
wow. I'm a smile guy, so I like to smile. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm big into smiles. So yeah,
Yes. So smile.
yeah.
Why did the relationship come to an end?
When she got sick, uh, it got real bad.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of arguing and stuff.
I heard.
Um, Pressure, stress, and as I said, too young to
Right.
handle that the correct way at the time.
Right. When you look back on it, what do you think the correct way would have been? Because there were some things that she thought you were doing, and you said, I wasn't doing that.
Right?
What do you
Yeah.
think the correct way?
She thought I was cheating. I was not cheating. I'm at the
Hmm.
hospital with you. I don't know how I can be cheating, but
Right.
probably just sticking in there and reinforcing it.
Wow. How do you do that verbally? How do you say to someone who's sick,
Right. I have no idea.
and that's why I'm asking, because you
Yeah.
just
I
never
have no
know.
idea.
Everybody goes through certain things and it's just like, well, how do you deal with this? Maybe
Right.
this person understands. Maybe there was something that could have been said verbally. Or maybe not, because it wasn't being received because she is ill
Right.
and yeah, and she's not receiving it because of
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
sickness.
She might have been feeling, obviously not herself and
Hmm.
self esteem is bad. All this worried about
Right.
sickness, and she probably wasn't there thinking clearly. So
Correct. when you think about the sickness and going to work and being there with her at the hospital, and you had the girls,
Yep.
because you and her did have a girl together, baby girl together. How much of a toll did that take on you and the girls watching their mother kind of slip away?
Yeah, it was bad because she was in the hospital for a while. She got better and was able to come home and everything. It was okay. But, just our second daughter was really young, maybe 2,
Mm.
3. So, she probably don't remember much. It might have affected her a little bit, but the other one that was like 12, she was acting out a little bit there. So, she was getting a little wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is, yeah, which would be the importance of both parents. Children feel it too,
right.
and they respond via their actions.
Yeah.
You said that she was saying that you were cheating, and Darnell has admitted that he was not. Let's get that straight.
That's right.
And we often hear Black women are operating in masculinity and white women are feminine,
Mhm.
and easy to deal with, and Black women are hard in this. Knowing both sides of the fence, what do you say?
I disagree. Okay.
Okay, tell us why you disagree.
Women are just difficult, period. It don't matter
Okay, just say
what
it. Yeah.
it don't matter what color you are, they
Mm-hmm.
difficult. Everybody got a
Mm-hmm.
different personality. It's not a Black
Mm-hmm.
personality or white personality, a Asian personality. You think it's got different personalities. Some people
Mm-hmm.
more aggressive, some people more whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what woman. I ain't never met a woman, even if it was just a friend, that wasn't a little difficult in their own way. Everybody, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Men difficult. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody difficult. Shit, we ain't got to do it
Everybody
to
is
women.
difficult.
Everybody difficult. Everybody
Everybody
got
is
their ways
difficult.
about them and what they like, what they don't like, what they gonna put up with. Whatever it is. So I
Correct.
disagree totally. It's I don't. To me, it's not. It's not like that.
It's not like that. Right. Right.
Not from what I experienced. I guess that's the way I should put it.
Right. Right. When you think of the girls, because I love lessons with children. When you think of the girls and raising them, what was one of your biggest lessons that you wanted to instill in them?
And my girls. So I
Mm-hmm.
did. I did a lot of quote unquote men things with them. I
Mm-hmm.
want them to know that kind of stuff, like, changing tires, stuff like
Right.
that. Nothing that you only got to depend on the man. You ain't sitting somewhere broken down, or you can't do this, you can't do that because you
Mm-hmm.
used to a man doing it. So stuff like that. Learn how to do this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Don't depend
Yes.
on nobody to do this stuff.
Yes. And I would
Like,
agree. I
yeah,
would agree. So
like
they
I didn't.
change the tire?
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
you would consider a man type thing, me and my daughter fixed stuff, and she spent in 2020. She spent, what nobody working in really, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we went in the garage and we fixed all kind of stuff. She helped me fix all kind of stuff. So you know, I just taught her that kind of stuff. It's
Yes.
good stuff to know. So we fixing
Exactly.
stuff, fix a lawnmower, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this.
Yes.
Just doing stuff.
Yes.
Put your hands on the tools. Know what they for. Know
Correct.
how to use them. That's all.
Correct. I couldn't agree even more. I had a friend. He would come and fix my flat tire, and he said, "You know what, Z? You really shouldn't be driving unless you know how to fix a flat tire."
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, he would rip me, and then, but my father did teach me how to cut the grass, and I'm ever so grateful.
Right.
Because first of all, cutting the grass is great. Getting out there and being with the grass and being with your yard is fantastic. But then also, so I don't have anyone else to do it.
Right.
Pay anyone else to do it.
Right.
That's how I looked at it.
It's practical.
It's practical. Don't be out there driving if you don't know how to change a flat tire. So responsibility, that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Tell us how the story ends with your first wife.
After we separated, she had got better, and then she relapsed,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to let me see, three. That was might be 5 years after we separated. Even though we were still married, I had to get the girls. They had to live with me, and she just kind of went downhill the next 2 or 3 years until she passed.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
How
still
did the girls take that?
I think they were kind of okay with it because it was a long fall. It wasn't sudden, you know.
Right.
She was
Right.
already sick, and she just kept getting worse and worse through them last however many years that was, 2 or 3, I believe it was. And so it was like one of them things where it's coming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did they ever say anything as far as what her diagnosis?
to this day, they did not know when it first happened. They didn't know. They don't know. They didn't know. They didn't know nothing.
She went undiagnosed throughout her entire illness. Wow.
And that started as a headache.
And it started as a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And it's interesting that you would be in fitness now
Mm-hmm.
and wellness and health, how that ties in to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your ex-wife went undiagnosed. Mm. Well, your second marriage, then you walked into your second marriage and you were a little bit older. Do you feel like it was a better age to get married
Oh
in your
yeah,
30s?
I was like mid-30s, so
Mm-hmm.
I got a better grasp on myself, the world,
Right.
my career, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was better.
That's good aspects, career, even yourself, the world.
Hmm.
Yes. And how long have you been married to your current wife? Oh, I'm putting you on the spot now. Oh,
Oh
no.
man, I think
Oh, no. Oh, no.
17 years. I think this is the
17
17th
years?
year
17
in
years?
October. I think it could be 18. Don't get me. Hey, don't get
Hey.
you get me in trouble, Z. You get me in
Okay.
trouble.
Okay. Oh, where did you all meet?
Met at work.
At work.
Yeah,
A prime place to meet someone.
all the time, right?
Yes, exactly. So how did it start? Did she ask you out? You ask her out?
She asked me out.
Do you think that that's something that's interesting to me, right? Because again, and I'm just spilling all the secrets here, but something that we often hear as Black women, and you'll be able to attest to this if it rings true with you, what we often hear is the white woman is ruthless, and if she wants that Black man, she will get him. What do you
Mm.
think?
I,
Mm,
I
I
tell
know.
you why. I tell you where I know it's true at.
Mm-hmm.
In college, I know that for sure because
Oh man,
they
in
go after the
college.
sports stars like it ain't nothing, don't they? So
They go after the sports. Michelle is my marketing director, and we were just talking about this in the car. When it comes to sports,
they go
they're
after
on it.
them.
And they
Yeah,
start at a younger age. And
yeah,
so in college, you think, oh, for sure,
yeah.
right? I
Because I think
mean,
in college, to me, from what I saw, is
mhm.
black women are doing independent stuff,
Yeah,
and white
yeah,
women are looking for a husband, and they all
right.
doing it in college. So it's
And
kind
they're
of
all
weird,
doing it right. So you
Black
think Black women are doing their independent stuff,
trying to
they're
get
on
their
their game,
education,
trying to get
yeah,
their
trying to do their
education.
thing, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the
And
white women, they're trying to look for a husband, the MRS degree.
yeah, yeah, right, right.
You like that? Okay. Okay. And, can you imagine a football player, a Black football player, a tight end or somebody, a wide receiver? I'll say wide receiver at like the University of Wisconsin
Hmm.
or, someplace where there are not going to be many
Right.
Black people. he probably would end up dating a
Hmm.
white girl. Maybe he may say, "Oh no," to the first one, but then what about the second and third and fourth? There's
Right.
only so much a brother can take. Okay,
Right.
I'm just saying. So that's interesting that you say that. So when you said yes to start dating, and what were your initial feelings about being in an interracial dating situation?
I guess I'm the weirdo because I didn't even think about it like that. I just thought about it as a woman, you know. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't put deep thought. I mean, of course, she's a white woman. I can see, but I didn't put
Mm-hmm.
no deep thought in it. Like, what people gonna say, or people gonna be looking at me. I didn't go that deep into the thought of saying yes. It was just somebody that was cool and we was vibing. So that's pretty much it.
Yes, vibe check. That's real intent with you. You're a vibe
Hmm.
person. How's it feeling? You said you liked her aggressiveness and assertiveness of coming up to you and asking you out,
Hmm.
right? And as we already determined, you liked the aggressiveness.
You're right.
You say you often mention the vibe check. Do you think that the vibe supersedes what surrounds you as far as racial injustice and racial relations or tensions? As long as the vibe is there, do you say, no, the racial tensions I'll push to the side?
Man, yeah, vibe is very important because, we 17, 18 years in, whatever it is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important because you can brush off the vibe and go with somebody that you think you're supposed to be with, and then you divorced in 3 years. So what good does that do you? So
Right.
the vibe is very important. And
Vibe is very
the
important.
one thing I try to explain to people, like everybody say things like this, like you only live once. You ain't living for everybody else. Everybody got to remember this stuff. You got to quit saying it and actually live it. So
Mm-hmm.
my relationship is for me. It ain't for the world.
It's not
I
for
don't.
the world.
I don't care what
Right.
nobody think. I'm happy.
Yes.
That's another
Yes.
saying. People say I got to make myself happy. Well, go do it.
Go do it.
Whatever you got to do. As long as you
Whatever
ain't
you
hurting
have to
nobody.
do.
Yeah, whatever. As long as you ain't hurting nobody,
Mm-hmm.
go hang out with whoever make you happy, whoever make you smile, whoever make you feel good, whatever that is.
That's good because you're saying that your relationship is for you. It's not for the world. You bring up a good point with the world. Do you think that interracial relationships will change racial tensions? Will they cure racism?
No,
No.
probably make it worse.
Make it
Honestly,
worse.
yeah, probably. Yeah, make people
How
mad.
so?
It makes people mad. It makes
Mm.
people very mad. I still watch stuff and people still mad about interracial dating. It's
Mm-hmm.
weird. I don't know. So
Wow.
I don't think it's definitely not gonna cure it, but it can
Not going
possibly
to
make
cure
it
it.
worse. Yeah.
Possibly make it worse. When you think about your families as you all start to get serious and you're going to get married, I want to know the perspective from both sides of the family. We'll start with yours first. How did your family take it that you were about to get married?
No special way. It was just you getting married again. It
You
was
getting
more.
married
It was
again. They
more
were
like
more
that. You gonna do
concerned
this
with the
again?
fact that you were getting married a second time
Right,
than they
right.
were, okay.
Yeah, that was way more important. You gonna do this again? All
You gonna
right.
do this?
It was more like that. It wasn't like why you marrying this white girl? It wasn't nothing. Not that I heard. Yeah.
Right,
Nobody can
right.
ever say what somebody saying behind closed doors, but
Mm,
nobody said nothing to me. So
correct. We often hear, and or even on this pod, we've heard, I'm going to tell you something. Black families are more receiving to a new white family member than white families are receiving to a black family member. What do you think?
well, I can't. Just going by her family. Her family was fine. I never had a problem with them. So I can't say I didn't experience that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but my family, they love my wife. So I don't know. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with her being white or black. It's just the kind of person she is. She
Kind
gets
of
cool.
person she
You
is.
know, she
She's
clown
cool.
with them. She, you know, my family is smokers and drinkers. My wife
Mm.
smokes and drinks. Crack jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yes. So it wasn't even the fact that, oh, this white girl's coming in. She smokes, she drinks. With us, she can get down.
Right. She cracked the jokes. She
Uh-huh.
clown with it. She whatever it is, whatever my family do, she do. Just
Uh-huh.
that's the vibe, you know.
What your family drinking? What they drinking? Henny?
No, but yeah, we drink a lot of tequila, but they do drink that.
Tequila?
Yeah, I stay
They
away from
drink?
him. I don't be
Yeah, you
fuck.
don't drink.
I drink now.
You
See,
drink
I drink
now?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, I started like
Okay.
2 3 years ago, but it's like tequila. Like that's why I
Okay.
almost missed this because me and my wife was downstairs drinking tequila and beer. See,
What? Y'all were drinking and almost missed the pod? See?
yeah,
No. Uh-uh. See?
I was looking at my phone like, what is this 6 o'clock event that I? Oh,
See?
so
Almost
yeah,
laid out on the floor. Okay.
you know,
So the family was like, bring her in. You know, we're in this culture where we have, in this era where we're saying invited to the cookout. So she was invited to the cookout.
yeah,
There was no
everything was
problem.
good. Everything was good.
Do you think that your wife would mimic those same sentiments when asked whether or not she is received by your family? You think
She don't
she would
think
say yeah?
so. She don't think so, but she crazy.
No.
Yeah, she
Stop.
crazy.
Don't say crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think that she wouldn't say that?
My wife is a little sensitive to white people jokes.
White people jokes.
You know, white
Y'all say
people.
white people jokes at the table?
Yeah, my mother get off hook sometimes, and she be saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, my mother hang around with everybody. My mother,
Mm-hmm.
she great. You know, what I mean, she retired recently, but when she was working at the university hospital,
Mm-hmm.
she talked to all these people on her floor, and everybody called her Big Mama. Black people, white people, men and women. Why? I don't know. She clown with all of them every time I go up there, so she just be clowning. So my wife, a little sensitive to jokes, you know.
To jokes. So there were
Yeah,
some jokes there, or
yeah, little jokes,
that's, yeah. Because
little
I know you
jokes.
did say, you were like, when it comes to that raisin in the potato salad, it's a problem. We're going to talk about something like
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, we can't do that.
at the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glad she don't do that. She don't do no stuff like that. When she
Okay.
cook, they like it. But she cooks, she bakes. She is cake maker and stuff like that, and they be loving them
Gotcha.
cakes. So no raisins in the potato salad and all that weird stuff. No, we don't do that.
Okay. Got you. When it comes to the other side, you being the new family member on her side, how was that transition?
I I really can't say. You know, I talk to him, but she has a relatively she has a small family. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I've only met maybe 6 people on her side of the family, and that's including her mother, father, and brother.
Mm-hmm.
So her family is very small.
Very
You
small.
know, my family is very big. Got a
Big.
lot of
Yes, and we talked
cousins,
about that.
aunts, and uncles and stuff. So you know,
Right.
both sides of my family. So like her father's side of the family lives in. Her grandmother died when we was first started dating, so I never got to meet her. And the rest of her father family live in like Tennessee. So I'm not going to Tennessee. So
Okay. You're not going to Tennessee.
I ain't going
No.
to Tennessee.
Okay.
I ain't gonna do it.
Okay. Okay.
You can't make me.
It's tell me why. Why won't you go to Tennessee? You think it may be some issues?
Well, no.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't talk to me. Told me about her family. You know, her grandfather was a little. You know,
Okay.
but her cousins. She said her cousins are cool, but the grandfather was a little. But I mean, he dead now. But I don't
Gotcha.
go into places. You know how black people is. We got to know our surroundings. I
Have to
don't
know the
go.
surroundings
Yeah,
before
I
we
ain't going
enter.
down there. Nah, I ain't
Just
doing it.
blind.
Yeah, yeah,
Blind in a sense, right?
yeah.
Okay. Which is very interesting because you mentioned that when we were talking initially that your brother-in-law married a black woman.
Yep.
And so no matter how their parents might have felt, they have 4 black grandchildren.
Yep. Yep.
Do you think there was some type of connection there? Did you ever wonder? I wonder why they both married outside.
I can't even say. I would have to ask my wife why she think her brother married a black. I have no idea. He is kind of all over the map, though. He a wild dude. So he just might be, bing, bing, bing. That's he just going around. So it didn't matter to him. So I have no idea why. But I never thought about why both of them did.
Right.
So.
We often say cultural differences are very important. What about the cultural differences between you and your wife? Was that ever an issue?
I guess I'm going to say, even though we're in different cultures, we like a lot of the same things, if that makes sense, right? So she's really into hip hop, R&B, and what's the 70s music, Temptations. She know more of these lyrics than I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
She
knows the
listens
music.
to this, yeah. So she, like I told you before, she listens to a lot of hip hop artists I don't listen to. So as far as music, we there. As far as dress, that's very fluid now.
Yes,
the
it
way
is.
people dress. You just wear Nike or you just wear Adidas. So it's not, it's not as ingrained, but she ain't got no sweater tied around her waist or nothing like
or around her shoulders,
around the neck,
right.
She ain't wearing no boat shoes or no shit like that.
She's not wearing boat shoes, right?
So
okay.
It's we pretty close. She listened to her. She likes some country music and stuff like that, but she don't listen to everything I listen to. So we got a nice connection, but it's good to have separate likes. That's what people got to understand about relationship. You what you want to be 100% like the person you with for. So you just need a good avenue. We like these kind of things. So
Agreed.
Our thing is traveling and that kind of thing. That's what we come in at. Games and movies, kind of activities we like to do. Play golf and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
But then there's some stuff off. Does she like to do? I don't like. She like going to concerts. I hate going to concerts. I don't want to go.
You hate going to concerts?
I can't stand them, and she makes me go.
Okay, I kind of did that. What was the last concert you all went to?
We went to the Wu-Tang concert last September.
Your wife likes Wu-Tang Clan.
She loves Wu-Tang.
Wow.
I never even listened to Wu-Tang. So that's her favorite rap group is Wu-Tang. So we went to the Wu-Tang and I hated it. So not the music. I hate concerts because it's loud and everybody want to stand up. And I don't understand why people standing up. I paid a ticket to sit down. I want to sit down and watch the people perform. They don't let you do that at concerts. So I don't like
I
them.
agree. I will have to agree. I'm
not part of the show. I'm not part of the show.
Correct.
What am I standing up for?
Why are you standing up? And I can't see. I can't. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. Speaking about cultural differences, we're in a world of social and racial injustice now. And I wanted to talk about those times in the household. Specifically, we're going to talk about George Floyd. And I don't even think people need a reminder, but just a quick reminder, George Floyd was the 46-year-old man who was murdered by a Minneapolis cop by way of kneeling on his neck for at least 9 minutes. Floyd was accused of passing a counterfeit $20 bill. And so that was a major uproar. When you think back, as we're not too far removed, when you think back to that time, what were your initial thoughts and what were your conversations with
my initial thoughts about the situation?
Right, because no one escaped that imagery, right?
Right.
We didn't escape the imagery. And so what were your initial thoughts about seeing it? And then how did you talk to your wife about that?
So for me, I've been following these cops killing black people for quite a while. I'm back
Mm-hmm.
to Sean Bell, you know,
Sean
Gen-
Bell. Yeah.
Gina Six. You remember these? All these
Mm-hmm.
cases, all of.
Yes.
So I've been watching it, and I stopped watching. I don't watch it. I read the
Yeah.
article, but I don't want to see the visual no more. um,
Right. Because
I'm,
it's traumatizing.
yeah, I'm tired of looking at it. It's ridiculous. So I saw it later, but I only watched a little bit of it. You know, you just
Mm-hmm.
watch it and see, okay, that's enough. 30 seconds, I got it. I got the gist of it. I understand what happened. But as far as my wife is it was more like, what the fuck? That's the kind of person
Mm-hmm.
she is. Like, she
Right.
say all the time, what the fuck? Type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But, you what you gonna do? Everything is okay. He was a racist cop. He's a stupid cop, or whatever it is. A stupid racist cop. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I think he was. So, because a lot of it was unnecessary, as it is
Mm-hmm.
every time, right?
Right.
Almost everything they do when it happens is
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary. Um, so we had our talks about it, and it was real bad because my daughter was really angry, and I don't know if you recall, and it was 2020, right? Yeah, 2020
Mm-hmm.
when Cleveland had the riot.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter was
Yes.
downtown, and my wife worked downtown,
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah.
So I I told my wife to leave work and come on home,
Mm-hmm.
and come to find out, I know my daughter was going down there. So by the time I got in contact with my daughter, she was in
And
the middle of
for clarification, which daughter? Because there's three.
the middle one.
Middle one. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. We calling her phone. She not answering. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is she down there? What's happening? And by the time we got in touch with her, I told her to go stand here. I'm coming to pick you up. So it was just kind of like that was the atmosphere. I had to go get her from downtown because it
Wow.
was wild. Yeah. Because where the wife
Yes.
worked at, she worked at the Nine. I think I told you that she was working
Uh
at the
huh.
Nine at the time, and that was the one of the big windows they busted out. A big window in front of the Nine.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was bad for the country. It's another black eye. I don't know how many
Mm-hmm.
eyes the country got, but they all black at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was.
Yeah. It was tough. It was a
Yeah.
eye opening. Do you ever discuss with your wife what it's like to wake up and present in this world as a black man?
Yeah, we've had those. You got to have. I had those talks, and I don't have to do it all the time. She
Mm-hmm.
understands, right?
Right.
But some stuff that go over people's head because it doesn't pertain to them, it doesn't affect them. You got to kind of remind them of that thing.
Right.
And I say all the time that deals with more. It can be race, it can be gender. It's a
It can be,
difference,
I was just
right?
going to ask
So it
because
can be
you
like
said, right,
you
some
got to.
things that don't pertain, because something that may pertain to you as a black man is not going to pertain to me as a black woman, right?
Right.
So, right. So, what
So
are some of those things that you can pick out that you would say, that doesn't pertain to her? I need to further explain.
it be certain like so sometimes I be doing deliveries. We ain't telling no names or who I'm
Hmm.
delivering for.
No, no.
No shameless plugs here for them people. But
Exactly.
so I had told her, you remember about what was it, a month or two when black people kept getting shot on people's porch? Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So when I go and I don't
Hmm.
step on people's porch and I gotta toss
Hmm.
this. And
Hmm.
no, not that I had to tell her. I was just like, I'm slinging these packages because I don't step on people's porch no more because they
Hmm.
crazy. Now,
Hmm.
even though I'm 5'8",
Hmm.
I am 200 pounds.
Yes.
So white people perceive me as big.
Yeah. I was
I'm
going to say
5'8".
thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just because I
Yeah.
got muscles. So I hear it all the time from white people.
Uh-huh.
They just
Yeah.
you're big. I'm 5'8", 2. So therefore, it's things like that that teach me I ain't stepping on
Hmm.
their porch because they shooting black people on porches now. So it don't
Right.
matter if I got this company's stuff on or not. I don't trust it. So it's just different stuff
Hmm.
like that. I just mentioned, you know.
Okay.
So it's little things like that.
I'm going to have to, again, agree with you, Darnell.
Now, it might be subtle things that they don't pick up on,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but you just explain
Mm-hmm.
it, bam, this is why,
This is why.
simple. Yeah.
When it comes to white men viewing your relationship, you do have a white friend, a white male friend.
Yeah.
How does he view your interracial relationship?
My friend is crazy, okay?
Don't say crazy. He's not
He is.
crazy.
That boy, wow. He cool. He ain't never said nothing to it. Like,
Okay.
he dates whoever. He's the vibe
Mm,
person. Black
mm.
women, white women, it don't matter.
It doesn't
That's
even matter to him.
right.
Right.
That's how he do. So, when he with us, he has a separate set of friends, obviously, right? When
Mm-hmm.
he's on with hanging with us, we're all black.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be him, my wife, and his girlfriend. So
Okay.
so it's three white people and 12 black people or whatever, you know what I mean? So it
Right.
don't affect him. It don't affect him
Mm-hmm.
because something wrong with him though. So he he exception to the rule. That boy crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So,
crazy.
being the exception, how do you think that it's perceived, or how do you perceive white men and as a whole? Or do you try to be buddy buddy with them, or you stay?
You mean the strange white guys?
Yes. Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah. No.
Listen, my trust only goes so far, and that goes with
Mm-hmm.
everybody, but it's less for white people. I can't trust them like that,
Right.
and I
Which
don't
is
know what your
interesting.
intention is. I can't.
Correct.
I don't know. You know.
Which is very interesting, again, because you've decided to marry the daughter of a white
Mm-hmm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you and your realness are saying, I keep my distance because I don't know what's going on there
Yeah,
on the
that's
other side.
that's as far as hanging out with them. I mean,
Right.
white guys I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
or somebody I know them. You know what I mean? It can't be nobody that none of my friends been around that's gonna come around me. I don't do that.
Gotcha. When we're heading into the wrap up here, one thing I wanted to mention was that you have a daughter who, again, we established is 19. She's not 11 like I thought, but she's 19. And you mentioned, you said she's black. And so you look at your daughter, even though she is biracial, you look at her as black.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that? Why do you view it that way?
She just looked like a black girl. she,
Because she looks like one,
she just
right?
looked like a black girl. I
Uh,
never think biracial. That is
right.
it's pretty weird. Like stuff like that when people say it to me, I'd be like, "Hey, it's kind of weird that I view it that way," and I never
Mm-hmm.
even think, she biracial. But
Mm-hmm.
she also view herself as black. I mean, she say she's
Mm-hmm.
biracial, but she'd be like, I'm fucking black. You know what?
Yeah.
If you look at me,
Right.
ain't nobody gonna say you biracial because
No.
the,
No.
the strange thing about it, my second daughter, who's with my black wife,
Mm-hmm.
is lighter than my youngest daughter, and she's biracial.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
so you don't even,
Okay.
you
Right.
know.
And then it's all about perception. How
Yep.
are you perceived? How do you
Hmm.
look? Right.
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to end on it's love, right? Throughout this, we've talked about it's a vibe, how you feel. At the end of the day, your current wife now is suffering from illness. You don't have to get into it if you don't want to, but I just wanted to ask, at the end of the day, when it comes to those marriage vows that you stood up at the altar for better or for worse, through sickness and through health, through richer or poorer, do those ring more true than any of the surrounding noise about the fact that this is a black man and a white woman.
Oh yeah, I'm rocking with my baby. You know what I mean? It's just this
Right.
is it. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not leaving her because she's sick or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it rings true. You got to remember that stuff. But
Yes. Yes,
thank
because at
goodness.
the end of the day, it's love.
Yeah,
It's love. It's love. And that's what brought you two together. You also have a book about love. Maybe some freaky deaky love, I think.
it
Let
definitely.
me see. Show your book to the camera.
Can you see that?
Love. Yes. Yes, that's Darnell's book about love. Where can it be purchased? Do you have a link? We'll post
I do
it.
not have a link. Just give them my email and I'll
Okay.
send it out and stuff. It's few versus many at Gmail. You can put that up there. And if somebody
Yes.
want one, I forget. Even last time I talked to you, I forgot I even had the book because it's been 2 years or
It's been a
something.
long time.
Yeah. Like I
Yes.
told people when
Yes.
I put it out, I was like, I'm gonna sell about this many copies. That's whatever. It's just stuff I write. I like to write, so I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting to be on the best sellers list or nothing. So
Well,
it is
you never know.
right. So when you said something last time, I was like, oh yeah, I do got a book. I forgot.
Yes. See.
I can't even self promote right. You know what I mean? It's horrible.
Right. Right. At the end of the day, it is love. It's about the love because, again, in situations like this, when you have a spouse that's fallen ill, it is important to just simply remember the basis.
Hmm.
What advice would you have for a young black man who's looking to date? Maybe he's looking to date white women. Maybe he's looking to date black women. We don't know. But what advice would you have for him?
I know they probably sick of me saying it, but you got to go with the vibe. It's
Hmm.
all about the vibe. Do y'all get along? What specifically is like your number one thing you're looking for? Everything. If you have men have more mental lists. Women might actually write theirs down, but men,
Correct.
it's probably more mental.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just check some of them boxes. The person ain't got to have everything. I got to tell you that right now. You are not gonna
Right.
find that person that check all 10 boxes. So
Agreed.
go with that vibe. Hang out with them a little bit. See if you can.
Yeah.
When you find out, because I call all women crazy. Okay, I might be wrong, but I say all
Yeah.
women crazy. They just crazy in a different way. So you gotta.
Hmm.
Can you handle her crazy? Yes or no? You
Yes
got to
or
find out
no?
what it is and see if you can handle it. So go with that
Eh,
vibe.
Go
Stick
with the
with it.
vibe. You
Yeah.
heard it here first. Again, I thank my guest, Darnell Flowers. This is Let's Exchange Notes podcast. Until next time.